my beautiful friends. Allow me to introduce you to Dan. Dan has been a full-timer RVer for about 3 years now and enjoys the life. Here is my wonderful friend Dan.
Hi there.
Hello. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Past job, life.
Well, geez, well, I guess depends where you want to start.
It's all up to you.
Well, I basically, when I was 17, I was working in a shipyard, doing like dangerous jobs and stuff, so I could make more money, and then bought a dump truck when I was 18.
That young?
Yeah, went into,
Wow.
and then basically was self-employed since then.
Yep.
Until basically getting paralyzed at 45. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that exactly happen? Yes.
Part of my business was doing snow removal.
Yep.
And so I was out looking at job sites one night, and one in the morning I took a back road to get out to Langley to go look at one of the jobs to see if I had to clear snow, and I hit some black ice and the pickup slid off the road, and when it went off, it rolled onto the passenger side and went into a roof.
Oh,
into
a
a
roof.
tree, went into a roof.
Wow, that would have been interesting.
That's right. Went into a tree, roof first,
Yeah.
and it came right between my back and the back of the seat,
Oh.
and basically broke me in half.
How long ago was that?
That was January 19th, 2002.
Okay.
So a while back.
A while back.
You
What
know.
were you doing while you were driving? What caused? Was it just the black ice that caused the accident,
I
or?
just lost control of my pickup, basically.
Oh.
You know.
So how did? Okay. So how did life kind of evolve from there?
Well, that basically meant I retired.
Okay, from trucking.
Yeah, so basically, I've thought I could beat it, the spinal cord injury, and go back to work, but wasn't able to. So I ended up, just hoping, and
Yeah.
the years just kind of disappeared, and so then about 3 years ago, I decided, time maybe sell the house kind of thing, and a buddy of mine talked me into buying a motorhome.
Yep.
And so basically I thought, well, we'll give it a shot for a few years, see if I like it,
Yeah.
because who knows, I might hate it,
Of course. Yeah.
which I did.
Yeah.
the
Initially.
beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
But, after the first year, basically, I thought, well, it's not too bad,
Yeah.
the lifestyle. And it was probably in the second year, I was sitting down at Palm Springs, 3 in the morning, and sitting outside with no shirt on,
Yeah, of
having
course.
a cigar and a whiskey, thinking, this isn't such a bad idea,
life, yeah.
because it's so nice and warm, and at home it's freezing. And
Yeah.
wouldn't be
course.
sitting outside having a cigar. Well,
Yeah.
I might. It's like, I don't know.
So let's go back to the accident and explain to my audience a little bit exactly what that entailed. Once you had the accident, what did that mean? What changed
Well,
to your physique, to your body?
everything basically changed. Physically,
Yeah.
I basically, I lost 50 pounds.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what happens when
Yep.
something like that happens. 2 vertebrae disintegrated,
Okay.
and the T12 and L1.
Okay.
And my lungs were both crushed,
Oh.
and I ended up with multiple embolisms in both lungs. So I don't know how many, they just said
Wow.
multiple.
Yeah.
So it's like, but
So that paralyzed you from the chest
basically from
down.
the chest down, yeah.
Okay. And how long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for 11 days,
Okay.
and I went to GF Strong,
Yep. That's a
And-
physiotherapy
yeah,
type
for
of
rehab,
thing. Rehab.
you know.
Yep.
and was there for 3 months. And then, you get 3 months, and then they give you the boot kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I rented a wheelchair apartment in
Oh.
Vancouver, because I couldn't go back to my house because it's 3 levels.
Yep.
And then, so I rented the wheelchair apartment and stayed in Vancouver and kept going
during the
to
rehab.
and kept going to GS Strong.
So you had to go there daily? Somebody had to take you there,
I think, no, actually, I used to wheel from
your apartment to your wow.
Yeah, which was a long way.
Sometimes
I would take the bus, but you know, if it was raining or whatever. But otherwise, I would wheel there. And
that's so like you.
When I think about it, I was nuts.
Yeah, I can. That's so like you.
I used to wheel down the street.
Wow.
Like not on the sidewalk. I'd be down going down like King
shirtless.
Of
course, any other way.
But yeah, so I, like it was funny because when I think about it, I must have been crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be just going down. But I always thought of myself in a wheelchair as like a bike.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good way of looking at it. You're just doing it with your hands instead of with your leg.
Yeah. I'm basically the same size as if I was on a bike.
Yep.
You know, the only difference is it freaks people out. Like, I guess it's weird.
You mean to wheel yourself that quickly,
like
or
people driving the cars?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, I mean, if I was on a bike, nobody's freaking out, right? It's just kind of normal. Because I'm going down the street in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like people stop and go.
Oh,
like,
they wait
like,
to pass you on the other lane.
Like,
of course. They're like, we don't want to injure the guy anymore.
So actually, after I realized I'm causing traffic problems, I started going down laneways.
Okay.
Because one of the things you don't know until you're in a wheelchair, sidewalks have a lot of slope.
Yes.
So you're basically using one arm all the time pushing. Because, you know, it's the side where the road is slope. So you're using... So
one arm.
One of the little things they teach you at rehab is if you do go out wheeling, make sure you stay on the same side of the road coming back.
Oh.
Because otherwise, only one arm's ever going to get used.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to come back on the same side you went. So you're now using
the other arm. Wow.
You know? Yeah, it's stupid little things you don't think about. Right?
So how did you transition? How did the physique? How long did it take you to start to relearn the use of your body again in GF Armstrong? How long after the accident?
Well, it basically.
You were there for 3 months, and during that 3-month time period, when did you start to see, you know, some improvement? Yeah.
Probably around a month. I think I should have wrote things down. I never did. You know?
Yeah, that's really fast.
Yeah, well, I was pretty determined.
I can tell.
It's like, well, that's what I mean. When most, I don't know, everybody's different, but with most spinal cord injuries, you have no feeling. With me, I had hypersensitivity, where you couldn't even touch me, and it was like being hit with a hammer.
Oh.
It was the reverse of normal, sort of. Where, because it is kind of odd, because they test you by sticking pins in you, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't feel that, but yet if you just touch my legs, it would make me want to scream. It was so painful.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and so a lot of it, which was a problem when I was initially with a new nurse, because the nurses are used to people can't feel anything. Yeah. So they would, when transferring me from the wheelchair into bed and stuff and back and forth, they would just grab my legs and put them in. It's like, and the pain was so bad that I couldn't even speak to tell them, don't do that.
Don't do it.
So then next time they come in, I would say, you know, when you do that, don't do that.
Yes. So how did they have to transfer you then?
Well, I basically was transferring myself really quick, actually.
You still had upper strength.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess one good thing, I was in pretty good shape when I got paralyzed. Yeah. You know, because
well, your work was physical. Life. Yeah.
But actually, the year before I got paralyzed, I had a hernia, ruptured both sides of my groin, so I had to go for a bilateral hernia operation.
Oh, my gosh.
And the guy that did it was a complete idiot of a surgeon. And
doesn't sound good.
Yeah. So he cut my bowels when he performed the operation.
Accidentally?
Yeah. I don't think he did it intentionally.
Oh.
but he's not a good surgeon, you know. And I mean, I'm, geez,
that is
long story.
That does not sound.
Well, the problem was because of, the year that this happened, my dad got esophageal cancer and died. And at that time, my wife was causing me a heck of a lot of grief. And so basically...
a year before your accident.
Yeah, this is before the hernia operation.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was after my dad died and stuff. And the problem was when I met with the surgeon, my mindset was like, I would rather be dead than be dealing with all the crap I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And so when I met with this surgeon, because of the way I was thinking, and of course my wife wasn't interested in coming with me or doing
That's awful.
No, she was horrible. But anyway, so when I met with the guy, I'm thinking, this guy's an idiot.
But just let him do it anyways.
But I was thinking, hey, worst thing is, or best thing is, he could kill me. You know? And I thought, to me, that would be a benefit, you know?
Wow.
Whereas normally, if you met with a surgeon and you think the guy's an idiot,
I'm not going to him.
I'm
Yeah,
not letting
run.
him hear me with a knife.
Exactly.
You know. Whereas I was thinking, no, yeah, go for
Just
it.
go for
Yeah,
it.
go for
Was
it.
this a surgeon in Vancouver?
In Delta?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so he did it, and I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 other hernias before this. And just cut over.
They're very painful, the hernias.
No, they don't bother you. Well, to me, it never bothered me at all.
You have a strong pain threshold.
Yes.
I guess.
Actually,
pain tolerance.
Yeah. A funny thing, my second hernia, I think it was, or third, I was on Vancouver Island.
Oh.
And, I mean, I ripped my guts out so bad that the intestines were falling out.
Oh my!
And so when the intestines would fall out, I just tuck them all back in and continue working.
Oh my!
So then
Dad.
I go to the doctor, and he said, "Well, there's good news and bad news."
Yeah.
And he said the bad news is that's your intestines falling out.
Yeah.
But he said the good news is, because this is a long time ago, he said, you know, the good news is it's so severe that it's like an emergency to fix. So he says, I can get you in right away.
Yeah.
He said, otherwise you might be waiting a year. So that was the good news, right?
Yeah.
So the funny thing, it was actually quite comical. So he says, now you go home and just lay on the couch, don't do anything.
While the intestines are sick.
Yeah, and he says, and I'll get you in the next week or something, right?
Yeah.
So I go, yeah, right. I'm being self-employed. Like, if I don't work, I don't make any money.
So you went back to work.
I just kept working. And he told me, if you can't get them back in, if your intestines come out and you can't stick them back in, he says, phone, I'll meet you at the emergency because you can die, right? So,
yes, of course.
So at that time, too, I had, the trailer I was using wasn't a tilt deck. It had these big, heavy steel ramps that probably weigh, God, I don't know.
This is the truck?
Yeah, it's the trailer I hauled my equipment on.
Oh.
And so I would I go to work, and every time I lift these
you
ramps
cannot lift things with
the
yes, you cannot lift
back in, and you know, and so he was a good surgeon, and so anyway, it was funny because after the surgery, I didn't even know this. Like, I told the nurse as I was leaving the hospital, I can't wait to get home and have a bath, right? And so then when I go to get the stitches all pulled out, the surgeon says, you got these things wet. And I'm like, well, of course, I had a bath. Like, you know what? And it was kind of funny because now I'm getting the stitches out, and he says, can you lift your arm like this? And, you know, and I'm going, what the hell? Yeah. Because the whole week or whatever that I was home, I was climbing trees and trimming the big giant trees.
Oh, no.
And
you ripped your stitches.
No. And I was jogging back and forth to my mom and dad, lived about a mile away, so I would run over to their house and stuff. And I'm thinking, here I go there, and the guy's asking me if I can lift my arms. It's like, what the hell? I guess I better not tell him what I've been doing, you know. But that was the thing. So the thing that got me on that, the hernias I had before, they would just cut you open and stitch everything up. The idiot surgeon wanted to do it laparoscopically, you know, so just a couple of holes on either side in the navel. And I said, no, don't worry about that. I said, just cut me open and fix it. You know, I said, I'm not interested. I got scars all over anyway, so what do I care?
It doesn't matter.
I would die. Like, and he said, oh, no, we'll do it laparoscopically now. And I'm like, oh, well, whatever, I don't care. So after he cut the bowel, that's when he said, that's one of the problems with doing it laparoscopy. He said you could miss when you've damaged something, because he said you're just looking at a camera. Yeah. You know, he said, and you're not just open, accidentally, right? And I said, that's why I told you, just cut me open. And wow. Anyway, I was supposed to die from that, because I went home for like a week, and my stomach went from 36 inches to 48 inches, I think it was. Just swole up like a balloon from the sepsis. Wow. And the pain got to be so bad, I said to my wife, you've got to get me to the emergency, because I'm going to start screaming. I'm hitting where I know I can't take any more pain. And you can tolerate a lot of pain, so that must have been really painful. Yeah. So when I got to emergency, they tested everything, and they said, gee, we don't know what to do, because you're supposed to be dead a long time ago. Wow. You know? And they called in a specialist and stuff, and he basically said the same thing, you know, that, you know, he said, like, at this point, like he said, normally if you had this, we would cut you from your breastbone to your pubic bone, take all your organs out, wash everything, clean you all up, and put everything back together. And he said it'd be like 6 months to recuperate from that. It's a long time. Crap, I don't want to do that. Yeah. that's too long of a recuperation. Right? Yeah. But he said we couldn't do that anyway, because he said, I'm sure the operation would kill you, because he said, according to him, he said the human body can only take so much, and it shuts down. Of course. And like he said, the infection was so bad inside of me that I'm supposed to be dead right now, that, you know, the body would probably just shut her down. So how did you heal from that? Well, so he said that, you know, he thought if we can keep the infection under control, like IV antibiotics, that the body would heal itself. Because he said it's a cut. It's just on the inside, but it's still a cut. Of course. So I basically couldn't have anything. Like, nothing could go into me. Yeah. Until it sealed itself. So, I mean, I just spent, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. I think it was 3 or 4 days before it healed itself. But I couldn't have, like, anything, not even an ice cube or anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing could go into me. Wow. And it was like the 3rd or 4th night he come in all excited. I think it's sealed. You know, this guy's happier than I am. It's like, good, I think you're right. You know, because it was his idea and it worked, right? Yeah. Basically. But the problem was, the reason I didn't die, they found out later from doing all these tests and CAT scans and all this other stuff, that my body had actually encapsulated the infection. That's a good thing. Yeah. It localized it in one area? Well, yeah, but like they said, it was about a 3-inch by 5-inch sac in amongst all the abdominal muscle and stuff. But I couldn't go back to work, because they said, because I work physically. Yes. If I ruptured that sac, that would be the infection would probably kill me. Yes, of course, yeah. So they said you couldn't, and then the first surgeon said he wanted to cut me open and take out all kinds of, like he said, there's a lot of adhesions created by the sepsis and peritonitis and crap. So he said that they'd have to open me up and probably take out parts of stomach and lung and wherever there's
The
adhesions,
yeah.
and, you know, they'd have to chop that out. And so I said, well, crap, and then it's another like a year or something to recuperate, or who knows. So I went to get another opinion,
Yes, of course.
and everyone said the same thing. The fourth surgeon guy, I thought, this guy is good, you know. And he said, he told me, he says, you know, I'll get your records, go through all your records, and come back in a couple of weeks or whatever, and I'll let you know what I think. So, you know, I'm walking the first time, so in a couple of weeks or whatever, I go back, I'm in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, what happened? So I tell him what happened, and he said, oh, forget that. He says, you're dealing with the spinal cord injury, just leave the other thing.
Oh my. So you had the accident in between all?
Yeah, yeah.
How did you survive? How did your body? Your body's like a tank. How did you survive? Wow.
So I never did get that operation.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny because none of what those four surgeons said was ever done. You know, as far as adhesions cut out of me and stuff. So
what happened with the infection? It just, you killed it with your mind.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe my body absorbed it. I don't know.
So why did you have so many hernias in the first place? You know, hernias due to stress partly.
Well, no, hernias are, you're born with like potential hernias because your muscle wall isn't like a solid thing. It can go in and out like this. So some people will never get a hernia. Some people, it's like when you have that narrowing. Yeah,
you're more prone to it.
And if you strain in just the perfect spot where all the stress goes right on that narrowing, it tears. Exactly. Yeah. You know, so it's like I was born with that kind of a thing, I guess. You know, where I've got narrowing, and it's just you get the right stress at the right point.
And that's all it takes.
And it tears.
Yeah.
You know? So you may never, ever rupture yourself. You know, even if you have that potential, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Right. But your job was so physical. Yeah, and actually the really good one that I'm telling you about, where the intestines were falling right out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The reason that happened was I was doing landscaping, building a rock wall. Yeah. And I had this big rock that I kept trying to position with the machine, and it kept falling. Oh. So I'm working with these two guys, and so I says, you guys hold it, you know, and then I can get some dirt under it so it won't keep falling. And these two guys can't hold it because it's a big rock. Yeah. And I'm getting so damn frustrated that I jumped off of the machine and lifted. And you did it yourself. Oh, something feels a little funny. Yeah. So that's what I mean. It was that one thing did it. Did it? You know? Yeah. But it was a big rock. How heavy was the rock? Oh, I have no idea. It was a big rock. You're a strong guy, though. Yeah, I used to be. You know. Used to be. I consider you still fairly strong. But it was funny, you know. And same thing when the one that I did that I was telling you about, the idiot surgeon. Yes. Was the same sort of thing. I was working with backhoe, ripping up sidewalk, and the two concrete workers, before I could get the teeth of the bucket in to start tearing the sidewalk up, you got to break an opening. Oh. So they're using a sledgehammer, and these two guys are going. It's like, and you're like, come on, like, get the work done. I can't do anything until you open a hole for me, you know, that I can get the teeth in. And so, but the sidewalk was an old sidewalk, and it was like about 10 or 12 inches thick of concrete, which is why they're hitting it. It's not. They're just not hitting hard enough, right? So I jumped off the machine, and you went and you hit it yourself. Oh, Dad! I go on like an absolute idiot with the sledgehammer and broke it all open, and then I go back to the machine going, crap! That doesn't feel right. Wrong again, you know. So it's like I do it to myself. You've always been a hard worker. Yeah, I've always enjoyed working. Good work etiquette. Yeah, to me it's like I always used to say, if I could have my perfect, to me, a perfect job would be a pick and shovel guy. you know, a labor where you're
yes,
using a pick
physical
all day and shoveling.
Yep.
I love that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And which is nobody likes it. You say, here.
Well,
use a
that's
pick
more for
on the
you.
day, you know. But I said I'd like to make $100 an hour and
Yeah.
be a pick and shovel guy.
Yeah.
But the guy doing that is the lowest paid. You know, it's
Yeah.
like he's getting like $1.
So if you love that kind of physical work and now you're not doing any sort of work, how does that make you feel?
I get used to it. You know, it's like I said, it once, how do I put it? I don't know. Like initially, I always, just recovering from the spinal cord injury was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. How many years did it take to kind of fully get to?
Depends at what point you're meaning. You know, it's to get my right leg working. I basically used my pain as I took advantage of being so much pain. Because I told the physiotherapist, well, when I first met with him, and he said, what do you want to do? And all they do is stretching and massaging. It's a waste of time.
Yes, of course. Yes, I consider
and
that
I said,
too.
I don't want to do this. I said, I want to get the right leg working so
Yes.
I can drive.
Yeah.
And well, what's the big deal? You use hand controls. And I said, no, you don't understand. I says, this hand holds a cup of coffee all the time, so I can't drive with hand controls. I need.
So you need the leg.
So anyway, he was like, you know, first of all, he's like, "Oh, be reasonable." I said, "No, I don't care. I want to get that right leg working." You know, and he said, "Well, how are you going to do that?" You know, and I said, "What I'd like you to do is lift my leg up and just hold it, you know, in front of me, and then just let it go at some point, whenever you want, right?" And he said, "Well, what's that going to do?" And I said, "Well, the pain that I'm going to be in when my foot hits the floor, like my brain knows what's coming."
Yeah.
So I said, to my way of thinking is, when you let that foot go, every nerve fiber in my body is going to be saying, "Stop!"
Yes.
You know, don't let it hit the ground. You know. So I don't know how long that took. Probably 3-4 weeks of being tortured.
Yes.
So for 3 hours a day.
He did that for 3 hours a day.
Yeah, it was.
So what was your aim, like, by him doing that? What was the point of him lifting and dropping it?
Well, the whole idea was, like I explained to him, is like if you were standing at the edge of a cliff or something and somebody comes up and just gives you a little touch,
you want to
every
see
nerve in your body goes,
you
"Holy
wanted to
crap."
spark up. Yeah.
So I said, when I see that foot falling,
Yeah.
it's going to be that same intense where
It becomes
crap,
sort of
everything-
alive,
yeah,
so to
everything
speak.
is going to every fiber is trying to save you,
Yes.
basically, right?
So get some spark going there.
Yeah, and then that's what he was doing, and it was funny because people that were in the room, you know, with other patients and stuff, "What are you doing to that
They
man?"
couldn't
'Cause
understand.
He was basically torturing me. Right?
Yes.
'Cause when the foot hits the ground, the pain was just unbelievable, where I'm just,
Oh.
crap, you know, and then after about a minute, it would subside.
Yes.
And I'd say, "Okay, do it again." So you just
kept doing it.
You know?
Did you
then-
every day? You did that for 3 weeks?
Yeah, and then eventually, I could slow it down, and
You could
know?
when keep
Yeah,
it up
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually when the first. Plus, when the nerve first started, when I first started to get something, the pain was unbelievable too, because it's like your nerve just is on fire, like unreal. But the nurses, because I was only sleeping, because of pain, I was only sleeping like an hour and a half a night. So the nurses would
You're
come in.
a Superman.
Yeah, so the nurses at night, because everybody's asleep.
Yes.
You know, 11 o'clock, everybody's basically sleeping.
Normal people, not superheroes like you.
So the nurses would come into my room and spend the evening with me, basically, and I would have them doing the same thing with the leg.
Yeah.
I'd be laying in bed, and they would just be lifting it up and down for me.
Yes.
And I would try to... I'm
To
trying
kind
to
of hold
connect.
it, yeah.
I'm trying to connect. And then one night, the nurse, she's lifting my leg up and down. I'm moving it in my head, and she dropped the leg, and it hits the bed, and I'm like, oh,
in pain.
Yeah. I said, geez, don't do that. Don't drop my leg like that. And she's, I didn't do that. You moved it.
Wow.
That's how it started. So then she's freaking out to the other.
She went and told everybody.
You gotta come see this.
His leg moved.
Because she did it again, and then she dropped it a second time.
Yeah.
And she said, "You're moving it," and I'm like, "Really?" And she says, "Yeah, you're doing that. That's why I'm dropping your leg. You're taking it out of my hands."
So you could move the leg or the finger, the toes.
No, basically just the. Like lift my leg up and down, like just straighten it. But I couldn't do it. It's just that it was that was the first spark.
Yeah.
And then we just kept dropping it and dropping it. Eventually, it started working.
So could you then lift your leg up on your own, sort of?
Well, that's why I should have written stuff down, because I don't know how long it took me.
You should have written it, yeah.
I know it took me basically a year to pretty much be able to stand, like with the brace on my left leg, using, and using arm crutches at that time.
Okay.
I had my right leg working, because you only have a year to take a driver's test, road test, or you lose your driver's license.
So you wanted to hit that.
Yeah, and it
Dan,
took
where
me
do you get that
basically
where do you get that mental strength from?
Well, I'm mental. I don't know.
That's very strong-willed.
Yeah, so that's why I know that within that year,
you wanted to be able to take your test again.
Because I only had a year to do it in.
Yeah.
So that was like, geez, I got to get this doing within a year.
Wow. So you got the right leg working.
Yes.
And the left one?
Well, the left one, that was part of the problem with me is, like, even the physio guy asked me, what about the left? I said, I don't care about the left.
We don't do the game with the left.
That's right. We're just getting this
just
one
getting
working.
that one working.
Concentrate on this.
Yeah.
And I probably blew it, because I should have wanted both.
Yeah.
But my whole concern was driving.
Aww.
Like I wasn't worrying about walking. That can come later. I just got to get driving, right?
Did you ever get the left one going?
Well, to a point. Like, I mean, over the years, because I keep trying.
Yes.
Like, I'm still trying, and just not as much as I used to, But over the years, little things, like I got the hip flexors working. And
how did you do that? What kind of exercises did you?
Nothing.
Nothing
really.
special, just stuff on your own?
Walking and continually trying, trying to move it. And
what's your strength between the right and the left? What's the percentage difference?
Gee, I have no idea.
So can you weight bear on your right more than the left?
Oh, I can't. Well, yes.
When you use your crutches, what do you weight bear on more?
Basically the right.
Okay, so the one you strengthened.
Yeah. The left, I couldn't. I had to use a leg brace on the left for, I think it was 8 years.
Oh.
And I think it was after 8 years I finally got my quadricep strong enough that I could stand. Because as long as I could lock the knee, I could basically put my weight on it for like a second.
Yeah.
Well, not a second, a split second.
Yes.
But I have to think about keeping it locked, because if I'm not thinking, it just
falls. Yeah.
So, and then I fall. So it's a conscious effort to do that. But and the thing, like I said, is just continually trying to do stuff.
Yes.
And which, like, actually is kind of funny, because doing the RV thing, I always like to have my cigar outside, and so when I was down south in the winter with these campgrounds, they have picnic tables.
Yep.
So I'd be sitting outside at the picnic table at 2 a.m, having a cigar. Now I usually
night owl.
And so, but the whole time when I I would stand up, hold on to the picnic table, like between puffs on the cigar, have my cigar,
of course,
and a drink of whiskey. Then I'd stand up, holding on to the picnic table, and try to flex my butt.
Yeah.
You know, because I had no muscle on that side.
Yes.
The left side. So I lean like this all the time, right?
Oh.
And so I kept trying that because I thought, and I would smoke for 2 hours basically to have the whole cigar. Now I smoke for half a cigar. But so I would smoke for 2 hours out there, and I'd stand up, and initially I would try to flex like 10 times, you know, and then I would put my hand back there, you know, try to feel like, is there anything happening? And then finally, oh crap, I got something, right?
Yeah.
So then once I got it, I could focus all my attention on making that muscle flex, you know. And it got so that I would do 200 repetitions
during that 2-hour period.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
200 at a time.
Oh, wow.
And then I would sit down, have a puff.
200 at a time.
Yeah, so I don't know how many I was doing. Thousands, you know. But
did you have help during that, like after your accident, from anyone, or did you do it mostly?
No, all on my own.
What happened to the partner?
What partner? I never had a damn partner.
So what happened to the wife?
Oh, well, we broke up when we separated when like after my dad died and I got that bowel perforation.
The hernia, yeah.
Yeah, where the guy cut the bowels and stuff.
So it was before the accident.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got divorced, I think the first year of after getting paralyzed. Like I was going basically getting a divorce while I was recuperating, you know, from that other thing.
Oh. So you were on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah.
So you've been on your own.
Yes, the whole time, basically, yeah.
And you did all of this, all the exercises and strength back on your own.
Well, one of the, there's been so much I've been through, like, you know, I can't even think of all the things I've gone through. Like, because of the pain issue, when I was at GF Strong, the doctors there said, we want to send you to a drug doctor. Because they said, we're spinal cord doctors. We don't know about drugs.
Yes.
And they were telling
painkillers.
Yeah, and they said no one in the history of GF Strong has ever gotten this much drugs that they were giving me.
And it wasn't working.
And they were afraid to give me anything because, like, they were giving me so much that nobody didn't know what to do. So they sent me to a drug guy, which was like, now I'm in a clinic with all heroin addicts.
Oh no, really?
Oh yeah. So you're sitting in the waiting room and all these heroin addicts. You here for script, man?
No.
What the hell are you talking about? Because they all go there for their prescription. So anyway, this guy gave me, well, he maxed me out on every family of drug, like opiates and nerve blockers and all at the same time.
Yes, for painkillers, right?
Yeah, so I could go to sleep.
Yes.
You know, and because I'm still sleeping 2 hours on a night is a good sleep for me, right?
Still or back then?
Oh, no, it's back then.
Okay.
And so, like, then one day I go to see him and he said, well, that's it then, no more, I can't give you anything else. And I'm like, well, what the hell? It's not
the body's expelling everything too fast, I guess.
He said the problem was I metabolize stuff so
too fast, yeah,
that it only works for 2 or 3 days, and he's got to increase the dose. Like he said, most people, you know, you give them this dose,
they would overdose.
It'll work for a year or two.
Yes.
Then you increase the dose.
Yeah.
Where he said, with you, it's like every 2 days we got to increase
That's
the dose.
incredible.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
You're invincible.
So when he said, that's it, he said, now we've got to get you off of all these drugs because can't give you anything else. And obviously they're not working.
There's no point
there's
putting
no point
your liver through that.
Yeah, if it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So he wanted to spend like a couple of years basically weaning me off all these drugs.
You said, nope, just wean me off
Yeah,
now.
well, so I'm sitting at the wheelchair apartment I was renting in Vancouver and thinking, the hell, I'm by myself taking handfuls of this crap. I thought I'll just stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's not doing anything.
Cool, therapy.
Because, like, one of the things, like, these, like, opiates and stuff are supposed to constipate you. I was crapping my pants 6, 7 times a day. So it's like
nothing was working.
They're not helping the pain. They're not doing anything, right? So anyway, I just decided to stop, just not take them anymore, right? Anything, and so I learned about dependency, like physical.
Did you have withdrawal?
Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
You had withdrawal?
Oh yeah. Like,
but they weren't affecting you, so how could you?
Well, they're not.
I guess it must have done something.
Yeah, they're still working on the body. Like the body wants that, right?
Yeah.
So there was a doctor I used to play tennis with, and so he knew all the crap I was on, and so I phoned him because his father-in-law used to drive him over to the apartment, pick me up, and then take us down to where we play tennis, right? And so I phoned him and I said, oh, I'm sick, man. I don't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm sick, Like,
so you quit all of them at one time?
Yeah, yeah. Whereas, see, that doctor wanted to wean me
of
off
course.
this and then wean
That's
me off
how it's
that.
normally done.
Yeah. And I'm not doing that. Like, this is stupid, But so I went through 3 or 4 days of hell. Like, it was horrible. But the horrible part, to me, was that because I have no sensation of crap in myself, and I'm just like the worst thing about the withdrawal is everything's coming out of your body.
Yeah,
like your fluids are coming out, your eyes are watering, your nose is running, you're like, and poop, diarrhea coming out, just unreal. So I'd be laying in bed and then all of a sudden,
you'd be,
oh crap,
Yeah.
So I got to get out of bed. Now
clean
I got to
yourself.
Go to the bathroom, clean myself up in the shower, wash all my bedding, clean the bedding, make the bed, get back into bed, and I'd lay there and go,
continue and again.
Damn it! So for 24 hours a day, I was basically, that was my life.
Yeah.
Was
that's the hardest part.
The bed, washing the.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I said, if I wasn't paralyzed, the person, to me, withdrawal is nothing. Because that was the hard part. Like if I could have just gone and sat on a toilet, made it run to the bathroom.
Yes, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But
so when I phoned and told the guy, don't pick me up for tennis, and he said, what's wrong? You sick? And I went, oh yeah, I stopped taking all that drugs. And he's, oh
no,
my God.
You can't do that.
He said, I'm sending my wife over.
Yes.
So, and his wife was an oncologist. Like there are generations of doctors.
That's
on both
wonderful
sides.
to have friends like that.
Yeah, so she comes over, and she didn't know anything, right? So she comes over, and she's looking at all these pills and stuff, and she freaks out on me, or not on me, freaks out about the doctor, Oh, and it's got
because of the doses too, right?
Oh yeah, and no, because of what I've stopped. Oh, and the dose, because she said, I'm going to report him. He'll lose his license.
It's at the highest dose. He's overdrugging you.
Like she said, I was taking 6 times what she gives her oncology patients for palliative care.
Oh my goodness.
She said, this is
That's ridiculous.
She's freaking out. And she brought all this stuff over for like Gatorade and crap.
Yeah, to kind of try to
get
put stuff in. Yeah,
because
put stuff
all
back
the fluids have come out.
Well, with that much diarrhea, yes.
So she forced me to take like hydromorphone, like one of the opiates. And that's when I realized, holy crap, your body is wanting this.
Yeah.
Because within like 15 minutes, I felt perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
The body just craves it. That's the hardest part of withdrawal for a lot of addicts.
Well, because as soon as I took that, 15 minutes later, I feel great.
You felt normal, yeah.
So then I took it for 2 or 3 days, and then thought, how the hell with this?
Again.
Stopped again.
No.
So I had to start all over.
No.
But the real bad, like I'm saying, the part where I'm spent my life washing sheets and stuff, that was probably only about a week. You know, between somewhere around 4 or 5 days to a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then things started to get better. And so to me, it only took a week of real bad, you know, the second week wasn't a lot of fun, but it was no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say like 2 weeks and it was fine. But there was like at GF Strong, there's they have like a what the hell's his, like he works there because a lot of people become addicts, you know,
from the medications.
So he's like a drug specialist
Mm-hmm.
to get you off of drugs. Anyway, he used to work in the prison system, right?
Oh.
And of course everybody heard about what I went through and all this, and everybody used to keep I don't know, they kept track of crap about me, right? Like the gossip or something. Anyway, Rick, he come to see me, you know, and he's like, I heard what you did. I said, I can't believe you did that. Said,
on your own.
Well, he said, you know, when like a heroin addict would come to prison, because he was saying, when I worked in prison, man, because now they're cold turkey, they're cut off, right?
Oh, really?
Oh,
if
yeah,
they're addicts.
Yeah.
Also, they do the withdrawal in the prison.
Yeah. So, like, well,
they don't wean them off slowly?
Well, according to what he told me, he said the guys would be suffering so much that they would run their heads into the bars to knock themselves unconscious.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'm like,
wow.
That's not a big deal.
It's not for you.
It's not that bad. You know, I mean, it's not fun, but it's like, and he said,
you're
oh,
different.
No. He said, I can't believe you could do that all by yourself.
You're
you know?
different.
And I'm like, just why would it?
You're mentally a very strong person, just so you know.
Yeah.
It's unusual to meet people like that.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's normal. Because that's who I am. Right? It's like, that's all I know, so to me, that's just normal.
Okay. So when did you decide to become a full-timer RVer?
Well, that was in June of 2016.
Okay, so that was just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So you've been full-timing for 3 years.
Yeah.
Due to a friend telling you that the life is great.
Yeah, well, more so just because of like being in a wheelchair, crutches and stuff, in rain and snow and ice.
And you wanted to go somewhere in the winter.
Yeah, so like he said, you know, when you do this, you can go
anywhere you want. Yeah.
So basically you can kind of live in the summertime.
Yeah, that's true. All year round here, you know, in the summer, there in the winter, summer.
So I thought it makes sense to do that.
Did you like it initially? Yep.
Well, no, because my house, I had property and it was like a forest. It was beautiful, right? And like no neighbors, basically. I had one neighbor, but that, you know, and I love that.
Yeah.
And
you're kind of an introvert in a way.
Yeah,
you like being by yourself.
Well, I've been by myself my whole life, basically. You know, and so to me, I like privacy, and I'm not used to, never been to campgrounds in my life.
And it's busy in campgrounds in the summertime, especially.
Yeah, and I started in June.
Oh, that's not the best time.
Worst time you could ever go to a campground.
Yes.
And so, first time I get into a campground, I'm surrounded
by people and kids and dogs, and you must have hated it.
Oh yeah, so it's like, that's what I mean. It's like, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
You know? Like people that are outside your unit talking, they may as well be right inside with you.
Exactly, and they walk through your campsite, and
it's like, and dogs are barking.
And dogs are barking. Oh no!
Like, you know, and I was used to
quiet. So you spend the summer in a park, an RV park.
So that's what I mean. The first 6 months, I absolutely hated it because you know, and then it, you know, it starts to you realize the sense in it when you're down south and people are sending you pictures of snow when you're at home.
And you're like, yeah, this is not so bad after all.
Stuck in my house.
Yes, exactly.
You know? So, I mean, there's benefits to it, you know, and that's what I mean, realizing the benefits. I'm thinking, well, it's not that bad of an, you know.
So how do you like it now?
I still don't like the summer. It's still too damn noisy.
It is,
like,
yes.
But like at this time of year,
yeah,
it's actually
it's
really
nice. It's so quiet.
You know, it's nice and quiet.
Yeah,
and
it's not many people.
Yeah,
it's like a ghost town basically.
And it is. I mean, the nice thing is when it is empty-ish.
Empty-ish.
You're kind of in a forest.
That's true.
So you're still
depends on the campground too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, they're all a little different.
They're all a little bit different, yeah.
But so they're all still similar too, because they're not in a city. It's like you know, so it is kind of nice.
And then you would come
just
back.
Go back and forth, 3 weeks here, 1 week there, because as a Canadian, we can only spend 180 days.
That's true.
So,
and you want to save your days for the winter time. Exactly.
So,
so when you come back here, do you try to find a quieter spot in the back?
Well, the problem is I have to spend my summers here.
Yeah.
So you basically got to take
whatever is there.
Because in the summer, they're full.
They're full. So how do you cope with the noise in the summer now?
Earplugs.
Yeah. Yourself most of the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment. You just get used to it. It's like, I don't like it.
Yes.
But there's not much of a choice.
Do you communicate with people a lot, or do you kind of still keep to yourself?
I still am, like, I think like, if you ask me, I would say I'm an introvert.
Yes.
But my whole life, people that think they know me say I'm an extrovert.
You're very outgoing and talkative once you get to, I think once you feel comfortable with the person, then you're probably an extrovert.
No, I've always been that way. Well, as being self-employed, I have
to go out and talk to people.
I mean, I go out knocking on doors, but that's a job.
Yeah.
That's like my job, right?
That's almost like you have to. It's not.
When I've got to do something, I do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. It's like if I got to do something, I just do it. It doesn't matter if I like it or whatever.
Not. You just do it. Yeah. So now, do you just go out of your way to talk to people, or do you still stay in your motorhome? Do you still stay inside most of the time, or?
Well, yeah. Well, I got to time catheters and colostomies and crap.
So you have a catheter, you have a colostomy.
Yeah.
So you have to empty them and.
Yeah. So I do intermittent catheters.
Yeah.
And because in my situation, my bladder does what it feels like doing.
Right, at any time, yeah.
So it's like I can go 12 hours without peeing, or sometimes I go like half an hour.
Yes.
So I wear an alarm so that when it gets wet,
you have to
like,
check.
Oh crap! I got to go empty myself. Right?
Yeah.
But
and what happens if you don't empty yourself?
Well, as long as I leak, then I just would wet myself. But if it backflows, if the sphincter thing on the bladder doesn't open, and it goes back into my kidneys, well, I can die.
Yes.
So basically, the good thing is leaking. You know, the bad thing is if it doesn't start leaking,
you could have kidney failure.
And I've had that a few times. You know.
So who called 911?
Well, nobody. It's only once was it severe, like where. I couldn't get a catheter in because another problem I had, I was born with a blockage in my urethra.
Oh.
So I had, because it was natural for me, whenever I peed growing up, I would bleed.
Oh.
As a kid.
Wow.
And then when I was 15, my mom doing the laundry noticed there was blood in my underwear. And she's like, "Oh, what's this?" And I said, "What?" You know, like.
You never told her?
Well, no, it was normal for me. That's what.
That's all you knew?
That's all I ever knew. So that's just normal. You pee, you bleed a little bit. You know, it's like that's normal, right?
No, it's not.
For me. So.
Dan.
So then I told her, "Well, what's the big deal? You know, it's like that's normal.
That's me. That's what I do." Normal.
And so we go to a doctor and a surgeon and all this. And he said I had about a 6-inch section of my urethra that was the diameter of a pencil lead. So when I would pee, it would take like
forever,
5 minutes or
for everything to come out to empty yourself.
And then it would rip a little bit, and
that's where the bleeding.
So when now I get paralyzed, and I can't use the catheters that normal people use, because when it hits that blockage, normally they use like a rubber catheter, and it's really flexible so it doesn't tear anything. And I can't get that in because it hits that blockage and just won't go in, right? So I have to use stiffer catheters that I can push through the damn thing. But I'm using ones that they use on children, you know, and so and every year or two I would have to get that opening cut open again.
Oh, so you go in for a small minor surgical?
Yeah, like a day thing.
Like a local anesthesia, or is it still full?
No, I think it was just local. I think
every year you have to do
pretty
that.
much every year or two. You know,
wow.
So basically, with that as a part of a problem, I couldn't get a catheter in, so I couldn't drain myself. And I phoned my doctor because I'm in a lot of pain now.
Yeah.
You know, because things are back up into my kidneys. So I phoned my doctor, and when I told him the situation, he said, "Oh my God!"
You have to get to the emergency.
Yeah. So he phoned emergency and says, "I'll tell them you're coming." And,
yeah.
You know, can someone drive you? And I said, "No, I can drive myself."
You drove yourself.
So I get there. And when I got there, they just rushed me straight into
It's very dangerous.
And there was like, I don't know, like 25, 30 people. The waiting room was filled with people.
Well, they took you right in.
And like one guy even had a bone sticking out of his arm. Like, and they just wheeled me right in.
Yeah.
And so I said to and then all it is, they drain me, you know, and now everything's fine, right? So I said to the doctor guy, I says, "That's funny, man. You got a guy out there with a bone
and I'm going in.
All I gotta do is go.
Well, you're an emergency, yeah."
It's like, geez, you know, it's like take me to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But that's when he explained to me. No, he says,
"You're an emergency."
In this situation, he said you could be right on an operating table, and we can't save you.
Yeah.
He says everything just shuts
down.
Yeah.
That's how it is with kidney failure. Yeah.
And I thought, well, crap, that's pretty amazing. But I've only had that happen that one time. Otherwise, if I was paying, it happened many times when I come close to that.
Yep.
But, you know, like I would just start shaking like this.
And you would know.
And I'd be sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, crap.
That's it.
Problem was if I was distracted, like talking, you know.
Then you wouldn't.
And I'm not paying attention. I'm getting all shaky and sweaty and stuff. And then it'd take a while before it clicks in, like, oh, geez.
You have, that's why you time it now.
Yeah, well, now it's, and the problem with me, because of the way I am, most guys that have to do intermittent, it's like just every 4 hours.
Yes.
But with me, because they don't want you doing a catheter until you have 300 milliliters in your bladder, because otherwise you can hit the wall of the bladder and cause yourself to bleed, which I did many, many times, because I would just do every 4 hours, but after 4 hours, a lot of times I didn't have anything in the bladder, because the way things work with me, you know, sometimes it's like I'm peeing myself in an hour, and other times
it doesn't
like
happen for hours. Yeah.
I've had days where with my alarm where I haven't done a catheter in like 12 hours or 13 hours, and the alarm hasn't gone off, and I'm like, crap, man, I better just do a catheter.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
Do you drink the same liquids?
Yeah, I drink the same thing every day.
It's
same
just
amount,
different.
Same time.
Yeah, same time.
Basically,
you have a routine?
Yeah,
you're a very routine-based individual?
Yeah. Coffee for breakfast and booze before bed.
There you go. That's all you need.
You know, it's like, so I don't drink anything in the middle.
Wow.
You know?
How do you deal with insurance in the U.S.? Medical insurance?
I've never had medical insurance. Like travel insurance? I've never, like when I travel and stuff, I never get.
So what if something happens in Arizona?
Yeah, whatever.
Really?
That's not something to worry about. It's like you worry about stuff when it happens.
You could be bankrupt.
No, it doesn't matter. You can always jump off a building. You know? Well, roll off the building.
Is it hard to get insurance?
I don't know. I've never tried.
You've never.
You know, I was told when I first was going to do this, I phoned like BC Med. I have Blue Cross.
Yes.
You know?
I think they insure you somewhat.
Yeah, well, so I phoned BC Medical and Blue Cross before I did any of this. And according to what I was told, because people say things all the time, and so I always like to phone
and confirm it yourself.
I want to know firsthand, not second, third, fourth hand.
Of course.
So I phoned them, and the lady I talked to at BC Medical, she said, we don't care. Like, people were saying, you know, something like 6 months you lose it or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, I phoned, and the lady said, no, you could be out of the country for 10 years as long as you're still a citizen and you pay your dues. Your dues thing.
Yep.
And the Blue Cross woman said the same thing. They don't care, you know. But they said they will only pay whatever it would cost in BC. So if so if you broke your leg in BC and it cost $2,000,
yeah, that's what they would pay in the U.S.
No matter where you are in the world.
Okay.
They would pay.
So is it similar the cost between Canada and the U.S.?
Well, I don't know. I've never had to do anything, so
you're very lucky.
You know, it's like I've heard horror stories from people, but then like.
They are true. I know of people who have gone to the U.S. and didn't have insurance, and they've been out.
Really?
Yes.
But how do you know it?
Oh,
did you check or
through my parents' friends?
Oh, so you know.
I know the people. Yeah.
Well, then
it's pretty harsh. How far south do you go?
The farthest I've gone is Pio Pico campground, which is basically 2 miles north of Mexico.
Okay, so really down south.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny. I forget if it was last year or the year before. One of the people that they live there, they just go constantly there, right? And the guy was telling me, because it's so close to the Mexican border, it's just like over there.
You can see it.
And there's helicopters going overhead of the campground all the time from the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
And they're driving around and coming in the campground and stuff. And this guy was telling me one year at like 3 in the morning kind of thing, the horses are galloping through the campground, and it was Border Patrol guys chasing Mexicans.
Oh no, really?
So it's like pretty amazing.
That's really, that's quite something. Wow. So where are you planning on going this year?
Same thing, you know. I kind of just go around 3 or 4 parks.
So like Arizona or California or?
No, probably just Southern California.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, that's still close enough to Canada, so to speak.
All I care about is warmth. Like I just want to be where it's sunny and warm. That's
you would need that.
So
that's
I don't
imperative.
Really care where it is.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing that bugs me, and actually even thinking about it, like when I go south this winter, well, actually, it started really bugging me coming north this spring.
Oh.
Because one of the things I love driving at night. Like, I don't like traffic. So I used to drive through the night. So the first year I started doing this, basically I drove through the night that first year. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I went, I'd leave at midnight, you know. And so I wasn't seeing anything. So then the second year, I thought, maybe I should drive during the day. Different parts where I want to see something.
Yeah.
I'd still go through the night when I want to go somewhere. But then crap, I've never been there, never seen that. I should
go
do
there
it during the daytime, right? So last year I started doing that. This year was the first time driving north in the spring. I thought, no nighttime driving.
I want to see things.
And I took a different route.
Yeah.
And I went through Arizona, Nevada, Utah.
That's beautiful.
I took a roundabout route.
Yeah.
And was amazed. And it really bugged me looking at the passenger seat and there's nobody in it. And I'm thinking,
oh,
it really bugged me seeing this by myself. And so I thought, damn, you know, without sharing that, it really, you know,
that's kind of
stupid. And even now, so when I'm thinking, and I was hoping to meet somebody, that, you know, I'd be traveling with, but that hasn't happened. So
somebody that you're very picky.
I'm very picky.
That's the problem. It's not that you haven't met anybody, it's that you're very picky in particular.
Well, I'm not picky. I'm content alone. Like I said, I've been alone since I was as far back as my memory goes, basically. So I mean, it's not like I need somebody.
Yeah.
But I'd sure like somebody, you know. So it's and the thing is, I know what works for me,
yeah,
and what doesn't.
What doesn't agitate you?
Yeah, and so I've always thought, when it comes to a relationship, I would not want to be with somebody unless I make her life better and she makes my life better.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to not make her life better, I don't want her being with me.
Yeah.
Because then I would feel like it's just wrong as far as I'm concerned. So I wouldn't want to deal with that.
So you've been alone since your wife.
Yeah, yeah. Since
hasn't had a partner.
No.
Nothing.
No. So
you're continuously looking now, though, right?
Constantly wasting my life
on the internet.
Stupid internet. You know?
And you drive your motorhome, obviously, now because the leg, you fully drive it. Like, you don't have to use hand.
No.
You know.
And I have my coffee.
And you have your coffee exactly how you wanted it.
You gotta have that damn cup of coffee. Okay. You know, the only thing that's changed, really, this is an automatic. So, because. Like
you used to drive a manual.
Oh yeah, so I was like, I said my hand was either on the stick shift or the coffee.
Yes,
that's where my hand went. Those, you know.
Yeah, so you have the coffee now.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, that's still really cool. It's very inspiring, Dan.
And the motorhome is like a truck.
Yeah, that's true. So and then you pull your car behind, so you're theoretically like 60 feet, you know. 50,000 pounds, something like that.
But I mean, it is driving a truck because you sit up higher, you have a big window in front of you.
You see everything.
So it's a truck. You got the big steering wheel, you know.
And I'm not going to tell my audience how fast he used to drive.
Strictly
of course not, the speed limit. He doesn't do anything else. Okay,
that's right, well, you can edit that out.
Yeah.
The truth is like, holy crap.
Nobody has to know.
Right.
Okay, what does a typical day and night look like for you? So how do you spend your days and your nights?
I wasted on the internet dating sites. Oh, no.
All night long.
Well, pretty much.
You're up late at night?
Yeah, well, the thing is, if I've got nothing I have to do, then my life is simpler, just allowing myself to go according to catheters and colostomies and crap. So I just do so I never really know when I'm going to have the freedom to get outside. And of course, that's one of the things I don't like about wintertime. A lot of times I don't even get the freedom, unless I have to. So like you said, as a regular thing, I wake up, I have to do a catheter before I get out of bed.
What time do you wake up at?
Well, I wake up, usually, I wake up different times. So but
you have a routine.
Sort of. I mean, I usually get to bed around 3 and I watch
So what are you doing until 3?
Well, you know what I'm doing. Drinking and having chips.
Yeah, you eat chips every day, don't you?
Or popcorn. Last night I had
popcorn. There you go.
Nuts.
Oh, variations.
Oh, and olives.
And olives.
You know, I just eat, and then the worst thing with me is, it's like I enjoy the stuff, so I just.
You just, exactly.
If it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
It's so I mean. But I have stuff like that, chips, popcorn, whatever, every night.
Every night.
Until
3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, usually I have a cigar, I have my cigar and my whiskey with my first glass of whiskey.
Yes, okay. That's what puts you to sleep. That's kind of like a sleep aid, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's actually when I was telling you about
with the pain
stuff. And when I, couldn't sleep, and I'm going to that doctor
to find something,
guy, it hit me one time. I was thinking, geez, man, when I used to come home after work, I'd have a couple of glasses of wine. I'd fall asleep at the kitchen table, So I thought, booze has always made me sleepy.
Let's give it a go.
So I started, when I was renting that wheelchair apartment, I went to a liquor store in Vancouver. And I was going through I spent probably a good hour or two in the liquor store. So I'm going through all the wine, looking at price and alcohol content.
Yeah.
And so the lady in there, after I've been in there for like a half an hour looking at stuff, she says, "Is there anything I can find?"
Yeah, I can imagine. She's
and I
like,
told her,
wow.
I said, "I'm looking for the cheapest wine
With the highest alcohol content."
So she started, we're both of us going through the store. "Oh, I got this one."
Yeah.
You know, "Oh, it's $7. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
too much."
too much.
So, but it worked. So
Yeah.
I ended up buying, I would buy gallons of wine, you know, and have before bed. So
And that's your sleeping aid.
and
That's
it would
what will
get
help.
me to sleep.
Yeah.
The bad thing about alcohol is it starts out as a depressant, but is a stimulant.
Yeah.
So after 2 hours, you wake up. You know, it knocks you out, but then you wake up.
You
in a
wake
couple
up.
Hours.
Yeah.
So, like I said, now I take like drugs to sleep, to put me to sleep. But if I just take the drugs, I can't go to sleep.
You have to have.
But if I have the alcohol with the drugs,
yeah.
I find the alcohol gets me to sleep, and once I'm asleep, the drugs kick in,
and then they
and
keep you
I
asleep
sleep for like 4 hours. You know,
is that a good night for
that's
you?
a pretty good sleep. Yeah.
Now you sleep for 4 hours?
Yeah, because like I normally, like I said, I probably get to bed around 3,
Yeah.
and then I'll watch TV for about an hour. Like I said, an hour on the, you know, so usually I fall asleep during that hour, but a lot of times I set it so the timer just shuts off after an hour. So I mean,
so you fall asleep at around 4?
Yeah, usually around 4 to 5, and then I wake up usually around 6 or 7, and I try to go back to sleep, right? But even if I don't, I'll stay in bed for 8 hours.
For 8 hours?
Yeah. So because one of the things with my left leg, it has no circulation. The doctors were telling me I'm supposed to lay down every 2 hours and elevate it for 15 minutes, and I've never done that even once.
Wow.
So I always figure, well, if I just lay
You're
in
a
bed
good
for 8
patient.
hours,
Yeah.
it's sort of the same.
So what do you do? Do you watch TV when you're there lying down?
No. I keep trying to go to sleep.
Okay.
So, and sometimes
do you eventually get to sleep?
Sometimes I'll go back to sleep and I'll sleep for 20 minutes and then wake up. Plus, I got to roll on the other side, like I lay on this side, and then I roll.
You have to move.
You know, because I'm also in pain if I'm on one side for too long.
Yes.
Or on my bum for too long.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to shift, you know. So it's like every 20 to 30 minutes. So basically, when I do wake up at 6 or 7, every 20, 30 minutes, I'm changing
You're shifting.
sides, right?
Oh.
And then around 11 or so, I'll turn on the TV and watch.
Until about 2 o'clock or so?
No, till 12, 1 o'clock. Somewhere around 12 to 1, I usually get up and I make my bacon and eggs and crap. And, you know,
you're a very healthy eater, aren't you?
I am.
Chips, bacon, eggs.
That's what I grew up on, you know.
Oh, okay. My next question is, of course, do you have a partner? And you already said no, still looking.
No. Don't even have a dog. Like,
well, you don't want to be tied down to a dog.
No, I don't want to.
Because you do cruises. You go on cruises and things like that.
Well, that's why people said, well, you should get a dog. And I'm like, I like dogs.
They're
but
beautiful.
I don't want a dog.
Yeah.
I like someone else's dog. I said, I want a woman. And I don't want her to be a dog. Oh,
have you had a girlfriend at all in this time? Or maybe like...
No, I've never met anyone that I would have as a girlfriend. You know, so it's like...
but you want somebody.
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted somebody. Like, when my wife left, as soon as she left, I went on the internet.
Oh, that was
like
fast.
the same night.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
you're like, out with the old, in with the new.
Because I always wanted a wife.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever wanted, you know, like...
You're a one-woman man.
Yeah, and so, like when people talk about bucket lists and stuff, and they say, what's your bucket? I says, I never had a bucket list. I've never even thought about it. Like, if I wanted to do something, I just did it.
Yeah.
So I've never really thought, oh, I'd like to do that. And then when I've thought about it, the only thing I ever wanted in my whole life that I recall thinking, gee, this is what I want, was a wife and kids. That's all I ever wanted. And
That's
I
beautiful.
did it.
Yeah.
I did it. I had it.
Yes,
you know.
but you wanted it for all your
yeah,
life.
Yeah.
A lifelong
Yeah, I wanted
wife.
to be one of them guys
You wanted
that, like,
to
Nike
grow old
said,
with the
"That's
same."
only woman I ever been with.
Oh.
You know?
Do you know how rare that is to hear
is.
from someone?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's what I mean is, because I always admired that. You know, I thought, man, that's what I want. Man.
You want to grow old with the one
be
woman.
One of them guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
The problem is, it takes two to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess my next question: anything missing in your life? You would have to say.
Oh, there's a lot missing. It's like, damn.
Besides
You know?
the partner, anything missing that you really kind of feel would make your life more fulfilled? It could be a thing, it could be a person, a place you want to see, anything.
No, not that I can think of.
No bucket lists.
No, I don't think so. Like you said, the only thing I want is a woman, but the right woman.
Do you feel peaceful in your mind right now at this time in your life?
Yeah, like I said, I'm content.
You're content.
Like I said, I'm not happy, but I'm content.
Well, that's important.
And I don't know if that's a good thing, because see, when you're content,
then you don't care about being
it's like
that happy. You're like, I'm happy the way I'm
like,
content.
There's only one thing missing in my life. Like you said, what is missing? It's only the one thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So and that's what I mean. The problem with being content is, there's no real need
to go out of your way to. Yeah. You're just content.
And like I said, when I'm having my breakfast and I'm on the internet, that's what hooks me. I'm eating and I'm checking my traffic.
For the ladies, hey?
That's right, going on all these stupid websites I'm on. And then, and of course, I when I have my breakfast and stuff, like you're saying, the day, how it goes. So while I have my coffee and stuff, while I'm having my breakfast and checking the dating site stuff, I'm playing solitaire. And then if I don't have to do something, it's easier, because I probably only got about an hour or two maybe, from when I finish my breakfast to when I'm going to do a catheter. So I usually, and I mean, sometimes it's 15 minutes. So it's like, it's easier for me just to wait until my alarm goes off and then do a catheter. And then I change my ostomy bag. Then I have freedom to get out and do something for 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. Before I have to start worrying about, oh crap, the catheter's going to happen. Yes. So, like I said, if I don't have to do anything, I just do that. And so with the winter time, by the time I'm doing my catheter, it's dark.
Yes, of course. And now it's going to get darker now because of the clock change.
Tell me about it.
4 o'clock and you're done.
So it's like, son of a... That's why I got to go south.
Yeah, exactly.
I get an extra couple hours a day.
Yes.
But, and then, like I said, so then if I... if it's light out, I can get out and do something. Yes. Or go shopping or whatever I do. And and then when I get home or come in, when it's dark, then I just go on watch TV and check mail again, because I get women sending me emails all the time.
Oh, you have your email address in your profile?
No, but no, like
messages.
Messages.
Okay. Do you ever Skype with anyone?
I did years ago, Yeah. But I haven't done that in years. Many years.
Don't feel comfortable, or?
No, I just... you
haven't found one that's worthy of your time.
Well, actually, I can tell you a bunch of stories. Like, one of the things I tell you about the Skyping and stuff, this goes back before I was paralyzed. And so there was this woman in Tennessee. I can't remember what website I met her through or whatever. After your wife, of course. Yes, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not during.
Never know.
Not one of them. Anyway, so we, email and stuff, and then got webcam thing and stuff. Yes. But she was really interested in me, and she looks wise was gorgeous, and amazing, and what I like.
Yes.
You know, and personality nice and everything. But she was 26. And I was 45.
And you don't rock the cradle.
And so I told her, like, I kept trying to tell her, you know, I really like you and stuff. But I said, and she's, well, I really like you. And, you know, we got to get together and all this crap. And I'm like, no.
It's a little too young.
There's too many years apart. Well, you know, and so we were arguing about this, right? Because, like, and I thought, damn, this woman keeps coming up with good arguments. Like, she's winning the argument.
Yeah.
You know, because like one of the things I said to her was about the age. I says, look, I'm 45, you're 26. I says, you know, I've had kids and everything. I don't want kids, and at 26, you still might want kids.
Theoretically, yeah.
Something. And she said, I can't have kids. She said, I was pregnant, and my boyfriend beat me so bad that I lost, and I can't. And I get like a hysterectomy or whatever. And so she says, I can't have kids. I'm like, crap, that's a pretty good argument.
Yeah.
So,
what was the rest of the argument? Was the generation thing too different, or what was it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what there was. That was it. The age difference. About that. So the way she argued that, she said, you don't know what the future is going to hold. She said, I might get cancer and be dead in 2 years.
That's very true.
Get in a car accident.
Yeah, she's absolutely right.
And we're good for each other, then what? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
our
matter.
age difference is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, crap, she's good. This woman is good at arguing.
So what happened?
So
you must have won at the end.
So she said to me, it was her birthday. Oh, now she's turning 27, right? Which and besides, I'm going to be 27. Right? and so anyway, and she's the kind of thing that she likes being alone. So she said what she does, she rents a cabin up in the Blue Mountains in Tennessee.
By herself?
By herself, and she says, I spend a week, my birthday, that's a treat for me. I go
okay, that's your kind of a woman.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought, and after all these arguing about stuff, so I was sitting there, and so she told me, she says, so I won't be able to talk to you or anything for a week because there's no webcams up there, right? There's nothing. And so I thought, damn, man. So I went online because I know, and she sent me, you know, where she's going and all this. So I know where she is, what she's doing and everything. So I Googled everything, and I Googled like what it would cost to fly there.
Wow.
Because I thought, damn it, man. The only way to really know is we're going to meet in person.
Yeah, of course.
Because all this arguing, as soon as I show up in the door and she goes, oh, you are an old fart. You know, it's like, it's either going to be good or bad.
Yes.
But it's got to be in person.
Of course.
So I went online, and it was $180 to get a return ticket to Nashville.
Oh, that's not bad.
This was a long time ago, right? And so I was going to do it. And that was the night it started snowing, and I got paralyzed. So that's what I was going to say. A story about how life.
That's like wow.
Just like fate, man.
Oh my.
You know.
That was the same night.
Yeah. So
did she ever find out?
Oh yeah. No, I emailed her to let her know from when I was in the hospital what had happened.
Dan, that's like from a movie.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
Wow.
Son of a.
You're writing a book, is that correct?
No. I was just writing a life story kind of a thing, right?
Are you going to ever publish it?
No, it was basically something I just wanted to I don't know, leave something behind.
Wow.
Because I thought, I got nobody in my life. Like,
you're completely alone now.
Yeah. So it's like, it hit me when my mom died. Like, holy crap, that's basically it. I got nobody. You
don't talk to your children?
No, I haven't talked to my kids in like 11 years or something. So I don't even know if they're alive or whatever. Wow. And my brothers, I got 2 brothers, which we never talked to each other either. So is that difficult? No, that's just normal. Normal, yeah. Everything to me is normal. Yeah, I can see that. Getting
rest of that.
Well, because if that's all you've ever known,
then it
it's
is normal. Yeah.
You know, it may not be normal in society.
Probably not, but for you, that's your normal.
Yeah, like my brothers never were close, you know, so why would it change?
Yeah.
It's just like, that's just the way things are. So it's...
So besides friends, you're entirely just
and
by
I never
yourself.
really had any friends my whole life because I worked alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I was basically self-employed since I was 18, working for myself, by myself. So, and I was, like when I had a family and stuff, I was never a guy that go out drinking with the guys.
Yes.
If I did have any time free, I was with my family.
Of course.
You know, so it's like I could have had friends if I went to the bar with guys.
But you chose to be home with your family.
And guys would invite me all the time if I was on a job with guys. You know, they'd say, Dan, come with us after work. We're going to the bar. And I go, no, I'm going home. You know, like on union jobs where you have to shut down at 4:30.
Yes.
You know, whereas I can't work till midnight. I have to shut it down.
And you probably would have worked until midnight.
Yeah, I did all the time. You know?
Oh.
So that's, well, I used to say, I knew my day was over when the police showed up and said,
that's enough. Off.
Making too much noise, you know. But so that's what I mean is I never even had friends, you know. So, like I said, when my wife left, I had and I'd lost my dad. My dad was the only friend I ever had. Yeah. And like he was the only person I regarded as a friend, you know. So, like I said, when my wife left, then I really had nobody other than my son. And, you know, he was at an age where friends are kind of important to him.
Of course, yeah.
You know, he's 18, so...
Yeah, so that's all that there is 18.
Yeah, so basically, you know, it's, you know, that's been my life.
Wow.
You know, but it's just what I've always had, so it was no big deal.
So that leads to my last question is, do you feel fulfilled?
Well, like I said, yeah, except for the one
the
thing
partner.
missing. Yeah, like if I had a partner, there's nothing else I would want.
You could die happy tomorrow if you have a partner.
Yeah, you know. Otherwise, I'm going to die sad. But that's what I mean. Is it's Otherwise, I feel there's nothing. I've never felt lonely. I've never. You know, I don't even know what that would feel like.
Yeah.
You know.
You're a very strong, wonderful, beautiful person. I'm just and I think that's why you were special enough to be interviewed. It's an honor to have met you, and thank you so much for doing the interview.
Oh, geez,
thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You're so